DeMar DeRozan has just named the New York Knicks as one of his premier options if he is to get traded off the Chicago Bulls, and we have to talk about it. So welcome back to Knicks Digest, guys. My name is Chris, and we're going to jump right into things as we always do. So let's go right ahead and do just that. According to Sam Amick, the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks are the preferred destinations for DeMar DeRozan, and what Amick had to say is that when it comes to possible destinations, the Heat and Knicks are known to be preferable if DeRozan or to DeRozan if he winds up getting moved. Now, I don't love the idea of getting DeMar DeRozan on the New York Knicks. The Knicks are a team that needs shooting over everything, and second to that, they need perimeter defense. DeMar DeRozan's a tremendous player, all-star multiple times, been one of the best isolation scorers over the last 10 years in the NBA. However, something he is not known for is his shooting or his defense. I think this is a poor fit with the New York Knicks. When you look at the roster who they have, he would almost certainly be replacing Quentin Grimes in the starting lineup. Then you have a lineup of Brunson, DeRozan, Barrett, Randle, and Robinson. That is not a good shooting team at all. You are relying on Julius Randle or RJ Barrett to be your second best shooter. Both of them have been very spotty from three their entire careers. They've been very inconsistent, and I just do not think that this is a good move for the New York Knicks when it comes down to it, especially when considering that DeMar DeRozan is on the wrong side of 30 by a few years now. And also, if you look at DeRozan's contract, you would see that it's ending this year. It's an expiring deal. There's no option. He will be a free agent this summer regardless. The Knicks have to re-sign Emmanuel quickly as it is. They'll have other contract moves they'll want to make just in free agency in general. They do not need to be spending money on DeMar DeRozan because he does not fit with the Knicks. Now, if this were a different Knicks team, a Knicks team that had a bunch of shooting, that was of similar caliber of talent, but was a shooting first team, then I would say go ahead and get DeMar DeRozan. I think it would be awesome to have him in New York. He's electrifying. He's clutch. He can create off the dribble, which is something the Knicks really do need still. But he just doesn't fit, guys. If he was a shot creator who could hit threes and play some defense, well, then first of all, he'd be a superstar. But also, that is the type of player the Knicks need. They need a guy who can create his own shot, hit the three ball, and play defense, which, yes, is the marking of most NBA superstars, so it's kind of hard to get. But I just don't think DeMar DeRozan is the guy for the Knicks. I mean, if you look right here, here's his season stats. 21 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 45% from the field, and 36% from three, shooting 81% from the free throw line, and his PER is around 19. These stats are incredibly close to his career averages. The big standout is his three-point percentage is up, but that's because DeRozan coming into the NBA was really a poor shooter. His shooting has gotten better, but he doesn't shoot enough threes for it to really matter. I just don't think he'd fit with the Knicks. The Knicks don't need another guy who's demanding touches the way that Jalen Brunson is, the way that RJ Barrett is, the way that Julius Randle is. They need a guy who can play at a low usage rate and be there to hit threes and play elite defense, similar to Quentin Grimes if he were hitting his threes right now, and I think he will get back to that. It feels like that's a slump. I literally just said last night that I think the New York Knicks should replace Quentin Grimes with DiVincenzo, at least for right now in the starting lineup. DiVincenzo, not the defender that Grimes is, but he's still a very, very good defender, and he's a tremendous shooter. He's got great chemistry with Brunson as it is, and he's electrifying. I think it would be a good switch. And when you look at that team, if DeRozan was at his peak, then maybe you trade RJ for him, and that would make sense. But not right now. DeRozan's on a different age length than every New York Knicks player. He's in a different time. Wherever DeRozan goes, that team is probably going to want to win an NBA Finals, and that is why they're adding a guy who could theoretically be a third best player on an NBA Finals team, potentially even a second best player. That's why he also named the Miami Heat, because they are a legit contender for the most part. They always overperform in the playoffs. So that is why he named them too. And he named the Knicks because the Knicks have also been good, because he likes the idea of New York, I would guess. Obviously, he played many years in Toronto. New York is close. And it's just playing in MSG. The big thing here that I'm excited about is that DeMar DeRozan wants to play for the Knicks. Now it's not just Donovan Mitchell. There's been thoughts of Joel Embiid, who's been interested in it. Giannis seems to have some interest. Now DeRozan does. Donovan Mitchell does. The big thing that I'm excited about here is that people want to play for the New York Knicks again. Leon Rose came in to a New York Knicks team that was starting Kadeem Allen at point guard, whose leading scorer was like Kevin Knox. The only player who's still here from Leon Rose's beginning is Mitchell Robinson, who was the best player on the Knicks back then, despite the fact that he was very raw because the Knicks were brutal and they won 17 games that year. Or, well, that was the year. It was after coming off the 17-game year, midway through the season. The Knicks were good. Seemed like they might trade Mitchell Robinson for D'Angelo Russell, and thank you, Leon Rose, for not doing that. That would have hurt. Also probably would have led to the Knicks not signing Brunson, which would have just been a disaster. However, I'm excited that the New York Knicks are now a commodity for players. It's no longer, oh, can the New York Knicks convince this guy to be the guy to save the Knicks? The Knicks don't need saving. They're a second-round basketball team. I think it'll be sort of a disappointment if they don't go back to the second round this season. And because of that, no one needs to come in and save the Knicks. The next guy who needs to come into the New York Knicks is a star who can elevate them. They're already saved. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, they all came in and collectively saved the Knicks. Though it was mostly Jalen Brunson. Don't get it twisted. The real thing here is that you need a guy who can elevate the New York Knicks. Not only is DeMar DeRozan not that guy because of his fit with the team, it has nothing to do with how good he is. He's a tremendous player who I think he's only having a down year because the Bulls' vibe is awful and they desperately need to tank. But it's just the Knicks need someone better. I don't want to give up picks. I don't want to give up young players. And if you look at this mock trade, I think this is fairly realistic in a trade that we could see the Knicks do for DeRozan if they were more interested and if I were more interested. But it's Evan Fournier, who's just there for contract filler, Quentin Grimes, a solid young player, and then 2 protected first-round picks in 2024 via Detroit and Washington. Neither are going to convey. So it's really not that much of a thing. But I would rather the New York Knicks hold on to those picks, let the protections not convey, get those picks back in 2025, and then continue to use them as assets instead of spending them on a DeMar DeRozan who is on a different timeline than the Knicks, who is not a perfect fit with the Knicks. I just don't think it makes a ton of sense for the New York Knicks to go out there and get a DeMar DeRozan type player. I would rather see them get someone who's a tier higher. They don't need to go out and get an absolute superstar. They don't need to go out and get LeBron or Jason Tatum. I'm thinking wings specifically. Or like someone like that level. But they need to get someone who's not DeMar DeRozan. And that's nothing against DeRozan. It's just his age. So I don't know why I just said LeBron. I'm just a LeBron fan. And then also they need to go out there and get someone who can hit threes and play some solid defense because you're probably going to trade Quentin Grimes or RJ Barrett in any trade, and both of them have been elite defensive wings this season. So the Knicks have to do their best to not lose the defense that they have and also go out there and get someone who realistically can hit shots, who can hit shots from 3, and who can be an all-around scorer, not even scorer, but an all-around shooting type player who can score on that third level outside on the perimeter, because right now Jalen Brunson is the only Knick who is consistently hitting threes in the starting lineup, and that's problematic. DeRozan would not be consistently hitting threes in the perimeter, so I do not see a reason to give up Quentin Grimes, who has shown an adept ability to shoot. Not right now. Grimes is in a slump. It is what it is. I've said start DiVincenzo over him just because I think it'd be good for Grimes' head. But I do still see Grimes as a potential starting shooting guard of the future for the New York Knicks because he's shown that ability to shoot the 3. He's shown that elite defense. DeRozan is great, but he's not a great defender and he's not a great shooter, and that is what the New York Knicks need. Comment down below if you agree. Thank you so much for watching this video. This one was really fun to make. I'm not exactly sure why. I just love talking trades with you guys. Comment down below if you do this trade. Again, I'll show it one more time very quickly. Or if you have a different trade idea for DeMar DeRozan or for anyone, just comment down below. I'll interact with you guys. I love talking basketball with the comments. You guys are usually so fun. Some of you are hating on me. Some of you are saying good video. Don't really care. I'll respond either way. I think it's so cool to talk basketball. And hey, it's New York basketball. You got to be rude. Come at me. Say, Chris, your ideas suck. We don't like you. You're stupid. Do all that. I don't really mind. I think it's fun. I think that's how you talk basketball. When you talk sports in New York, you're yelling. That's why I'm yelling in all these videos. But thank you so much, guys. That's a long outro, so I'll leave you guys with a have a good day and go Knicks.